All right, so today we're going to talk about my absolute favorite food plot. I get asked that many times. I see it on social media, all over the place. What's the best thing to plant a food plot? And you get 1,000 answers. A lot of them are pro staff driven. Plant brassica and sand, really. Plant a quarter acre of soybeans. Seriously? I found this method works extremely well. I found this method back in, I think, 2008 on a hunting forum called Iowa Whitetail. A gentleman who was my mentor and helped me create Northwoods Whitetails, some of our blends. His name was Paul Knox. I thought that he's probably the greatest food plotter I've ever met. And if you don't know Paul or weren't fortunate enough to follow his teachings, maybe take some time and go find him. I know his teachings and methods are archived on Iowa Whitetail, and I do believe it's also archived on Michigan Sportsman's Forum. But Paul was a great man. I still work with his son Jesse. Now and then I bounce some ideas off of him. I think he still has a habitat company in Iowa, but great people. And Paul taught me this, and we do a variety of plantings just out of one necessity, typical Michigan ground here. We have to do no-till across the street. We've got sandy soil. We do some no-till up there. But a lot of the places where I can do this method, I really like it. It produces a ton of food. It creates food 365 days a year with the methods and the seeds that we use. And it's just, to me, from Canada to Florida, Maine to Montana, and all places in between, it's probably one of the best plantings for whitetail deer for food plots. So we'll get into it. It's called the 3-strip system. Now again, this was taught to me by Paul Knox back in, I think, 2008, and we've just taken it and ran with it. And Paul, if you're watching, I hope you're smiling. All right, so the 3-strip system. We've been doing this behind our house for many, many years, and I want to say we're into the 10th or 12th year of it. And just before we really get into it, I'm going to show you a screenshot of the soil test we took. Now, we're going to have brassicas in the center strip this year. We took a soil test right about here, okay? And pH 6.8, and the organic matter is 4.8. I thought it was 4.7, but yeah, it's 4.8. I just looked at the soil test result before I turned the camera on. Now, our original, this is about 5/8 of an acre. Originally, we started with about like this, right about here. Now, we bought this piece of that field when we bought this land to put the building on. So this is the year number 2 into this part of the food plot, but we've been doing this part of the food plot, and you'll see it when I get out and we're actually going to show you how we plant this. But we've done this for, gosh, I don't know how long we food plotted. It's probably 15 to 16 years, but this 3-strip we've probably been doing since, man, I want to say 2012. I think that's when we really started on it. So anyhow, so what is it? Obviously, it's 3 strips, but what are they? What does it mean? What do they do? So I'm going to show you what we're going to plant in 2023 and what we actually had planted in 2022 and how it relates to 2023. But just to give you a layout, you've seen this food plot on a lot of our videos. Okay, our house is right down here, down in here. We have our swimming pond right down here. This is not to scale, but you'll get the layout, okay? You'll get the layout. You've seen this so many times. Okay, so this year, we have our HD food plot screen all along this edge here and all along this edge to about here. And then from here to here, we have another company's food plot screen. Just like to do a side by side. We do one every year. We also have some hybrid popple that are about 10 years old out here. They're 40 or 50 feet tall. We've got RC Big Rock switchgrass starting right here. And we've got RC Big Rock switchgrass all over here. And then we have a garden right here. Bedding area, a lot of the deer come out down here. And then there's a hay field here. It's kind of a It's baled for beef cows. It's nothing really like the deer would be in there eating. They're browsing it now and then, but we get a lot of deer that come through this, cut through this corner as well. So that's just kind of the layout of the food plot. Now, what's in here, this is this strip right here, closest to our lawn. This is a clover blend. Plus chicory. And that was planted last year. We actually redid the whole plot the first week in August last year. So this was 22. Okay, and that's going to stay that way for many, many years. And this year, you'll actually see us planting this center section is going to be brassica. Obviously, our Sweet Feast brassica blend. Okay, and today we also planted up in here fall forage. Running out of ink. Red clover. And radishes. Oh my God, we're out of ink. Okay. So this is what we planted today, and you'll get to watch that coming up soon. So this is our 2023 planting, 3 pretty close to even strips. This clover blend might be a little bit thinner. Brassica's a little bit wider. It's just the way things worked out. But what I want to talk about is what was in that food plot last year, 2022. And I'll write over here. So in 2022, this time last year, this was brassica. Okay? And then this was the fall forage radishes red clover. I have to switch markers. She's out of ink. Try a white one. So that was in the center section last year. Okay? And it worked outstanding. A lot of deer in it. We had one tonight, I think we had 20 deer. Now this is 5/8 of an acre. And at one point in early October, late September, I think I counted 20, 21 deer. Quite a few bucks. So what did last year's planting have to do with today? So you're going to see the rye and the red clover came back this spring. Okay, we had a really rough spring. A lot of snow, heavy snow, kind of dragged out. And as soon as that sun started hitting that food plot and melting the snow, any chance that rye could start to green up, it was greening up. We could have small patches of it, and there were deer on there eating. So that was big. The rye in the fall forage comes back. But another important factor, and this is really big, and you'll see this today, the red clover comes back. It starts out slow in the spring. You know, the rye is the first thing to green up. Red clover's right behind it. But it just explodes probably about early June, end of May. And we'll clip the rye, but the deer ate so much of the rye. It's not like we get 4 or 5 foot tall rye. I think it got maybe 3 feet tall, and it was thinking about seeding out. So we clipped that, and then the red clover just took off. We put a little Plot Doctor fertilizer on it, and it really took off. So now what we did today is with that soil test, we had low P and low K. So we not only are going to use the Plot Doctor products, but we did add some 19 and a little bit of urea to the center red clover. Okay, and the red clover was about that tall, really thick, really lush. We spread some urea and some 19 in there and took our rototiller behind our tractor and tilled that all in. That's all beautiful organic nitrogen. It creates a great seed bed. We only went about 1 inch deep, just enough to kill that clover, get this fertilizer buried, and create a seed bed for the brassicas. So then what we did is we lightly disked, I'm sorry, I missed a step. So once that was tilled in, we spread some winter peas. And then we took a little four-wheeler disc with a lawn roller behind it. We'll disc that peas in lightly, get that also get the plot packed nice and firm. Then we went and spread our brassica seed, packed it again, and we're done. Now for here, we got really busy this spring. So when the brassicas that were here last year, you know, it turned in kind of a weed patch this spring. You know, some of the brassicas tried to grow back, kick a flower. You know, just weeds kicked in. We just got so busy I couldn't get out there. Usually I'm planting like a berseem, oats, and maybe some crimson or some winter peas just to keep the weed pressure down. But I just let it go. Just, you know, life happens, folks. We're no different. Never got out there to take care of it. Next thing you know, there's pigweed everywhere. It's just a mess. So what we ended up doing is we lightly tilled everything under, planted a soil builder. And that pigweed kind of came back, so unfortunately we had to till one more time, and we put in some enlist beans and tried to spray Liberty to kill that pigweed, and we were successful killing the pigweed. So then we did a light, we spread our fertilizer up here. We did some 1919, lightly tilled that in just to get the fertilizer in the ground, and then packed it down. I'm sorry, I'm getting all mixed up here. There's so many steps. You'll get to watch the video. But we spread the fertilizer, and then we spread the big fall forward seed. Took a little ATV disc with a roller, went back and forth, got the seed buried, got the fertilizer buried, and then we got the soil firmed up, spread red clover and radishes, ran it over with a lawn roller again, and now we're done. So I don't think we're going to have to do the rye overseed. I went really heavy on the rye, and the reason I did that is because this year, I've never seen so many deer on that food plot this time of the year. Usually, you know, July, August, we just have a couple of does and some fawns. The other night I counted 12 deer and 4 of them were bucks. One actually was a really nice buck for this area. But this was so full of deer, and now we just took 2/3 of the food off the table. We went really heavy with rye and oats on this particular side because I need that green instantly. They're going to come back within the next 2 weeks. So we're going to have all those deer back, and this plot is going to be full late September, early October with all this green new growth. So that's what we did today. You're going to see that in the video today. We're going to explain to you what we did, why we do it, and now we're going to look ahead to 2024. So 2024, this is going to be back to the fall forage, radishes, and red clover this time next year. And this is going to be brassica. So let's go 2024, okay? This is the 2022. You see how it mimics 2024. So the even number years will go brassica, fall forage, red clover, clover blend plus chicory. The odd years we're going to go fall forage, red clover, radishes, and brassica here, 2023, 2025, clover blend plus chicory down here. Now, what happens if we want to rotate this out and give that soil a break? What we'll end up doing is maybe just move everything down one. We'll take the clover blend plus chicory in the fall, put it up here. We'll use oats and rye as a nurse crop. I don't believe in using brassica as a nurse crop for clover blend plus chicory because they both are fighting for the same nutrients. Brassica quickly canopies, and go check with your local alfalfa farmer and see what he's using for a nurse crop. It's oats. You know, if you think about the local farmers, you know, if you've got anybody growing alfalfa in your area, there's a lot of alfalfa red clover combo. Ask them what they're doing for a nurse crop. They're going to be doing peas. They're going to be doing oats. None of them do brassica. Okay, I married into a dairy farm family. I've never once seen them plant alfalfa with brassica. So it sounds cool, but I'll be honest with you folks, brassica and clovers are fighting for the exact same nutrients, okay? And why would you want, if you're trying to establish a clover plot, why would you plant something that's going to fight with that clover, rob it of nutrients, and then potentially at 6 weeks canopy that clover out. Why would you try to get your clover off to a rough start and struggling? Just plant cereal grains as a nurse crop. We like rye, we like oats at a 50-50 mix. We've been doing it for a long, long time, folks. It works great. Like I said, go check with a local farmer who grows alfalfa and ask them what they use for a nurse crop. All right, so if you want to move the clover blend in the chicory, it's been there a long time. You don't really like where it's at. I mean, honestly, I like tucking the clover blend in the chicory right up against the wood line. That's the first thing I'd like the deer to eat as they come out of the woods. But anyway, if you wanted to do that, then you can just move all three. So you can take this, we'll put it up here. You can take the brassicas, put it here, and then the fall forage and put it here. You know, you don't have to lay it out this way, but if you do want to move the clover, you can do that. Just do it all at the same time. So I really like this method. We've been doing it, like I said, since, gosh, I want to say 2012, 2013, in that time frame, once we got all our equipment here. The soil test doesn't lie. I got 4.7 organic matter on this side. Obviously, we've been taking care of the pH on this particular plot. It's at 6.8, so we really didn't add any lime. We'll probably put some lime on it next spring. But because the P and the K were low, we did have to use some synthetic fertilizer, as well as we're going to use some plot doctor. But anyway, I really like this method, folks. We've recommended it from Canada all the way as far south as Georgia. I really like creating, I mean, you think about that, how many different species of plants are going to be in here. The diversity, it's like going to the all-you-can-eat buffet. One night I want the taco bar, next night I want steak, next night I want spaghetti. Whitetails are the same way. I've got to sit on 3 or 4 of these massive food plots just watching and observing whitetails, and they just go back and forth and back and forth. I mean, this is a 5/8 of an acre food plot. If you had something like 3, 4, 5, 6 acres, you could do strip 10, 12, 13 strips, just keep going, you know, using the same ingredients, but maybe instead of 3 strips, you've got a dozen or 10. We did a food plot about 3 miles from here one year, and we had 8 strips, plus a 9th strip of clover, and the deer just keep moving. They just keep moving back and forth. There's something different for them to eat. I really like the diversity with this, but here's the other thing. When I started following Paul Knox, 2008 is when I found him. He was a big proponent of one food plot, food for the deer, 365 days a year, create great habitat, create great bedding areas, create bedding areas for bucks and does. Paul was a wise man, and this system that he created works phenomenal with that theory, okay? There's always food with the clover blend plus chicory. You've got the red clover coming back for spring and summer food. You've got rye coming back for spring and summer food. You've got, if you have brassica here, then the following year we usually come in with oats, berseem clover, and peas. Not only is it a great nitrogen builder, great deer food. So I really like this planting method. I'm sure it's going to fit in just about any food plot system you have. However, the minimum I would recommend size for this food plot is about a 1/2 acre, okay? If you get down to that 1/4 acre, quite easily those brassicas could get wiped out, okay? And again, like I said, I've had 20 deer in this food plot, and they do not wipe those brassicas out. We usually got a couple left over the following year. So I like this, you know, if you're in a low deer density area, you could probably get away with 1/3 of an acre. I really like this food plot system. This is my favorite. This isn't the only thing we do, but this is my particular favorite one. We've been asked for years to do a video on this, and we finally got around to doing it. So we're going to take you outside in our backyard food plot. We got a tractor, we got an ATV, we got a bunch of equipment, bunch of seeds, some fertilizer, and we're going to show you how we build our 2023 strip system here in Menominee, Michigan. All right, so here we are out on the food plot. We're going to show you step by step how we build this 3-strip system. Now, obviously in the office we kind of walk through it, what we're planting, what goes where, but we're going to show you how we do this. Our equipment lineup today is a ATV 4-wheeler. We've got a broadcast seeder that goes behind the 4-wheeler for doing the big seeds, the grains, the peas, the buckwheat, and obviously the fertilizer. We're going to have a sprayer with some liquid lime on it. We've got a tractor with a 3-point tiller behind it to just lightly incorporate the fertilizer and this red clover where the brassicas are going to go. So I'm going to kind of step aside and show you what we've got going on out here and try to use the camera to point out. So you can see this strip right here. All right, this is where we had brassicas last year, and we just ran out of time. Didn't have a lot to do with it. It got kind of weedy, got some pigweed in it. So we drilled on a rainy day when the ground was really soft. We tried to use our grain drill to incorporate rye oats and some sorghum. We did that last year. That way we could spray 2,4-D, and we still got some pigweed. So what we ended up doing is 3 weeks ago we lightly tilled it all under, ran some enlist beans. Actually, it might have been a month ago. It was mid-June, I think. And we got some enlist beans to try. And honestly, I'm really not a big fan of putting soybeans in this food plot because they just get wiped out. And they did get wiped out. But we did spray some Liberty, and it killed everything. And so Liberty apparently does not have a residual like 2,4-D, so we killed most of the pigweed. But this soil, this will be the second time the soil's been tilled in I think 5 weeks. I really don't like doing that, but we're going to lightly incorporate the fertilizer over here. Now, that's where our fall forage sandy soil, we got it, like I said before, we got a bunch of broken bags. We're just kind of using fall forage sandy soil. Obviously our red clover and our radishes. So now on this strip you can see we've got red clover. This is where our fall forage was last year, and this is one of the reasons why we add red clover, because this is deer food all summer, and now we're going to till all this organic nitrogen under, so we don't have to add as much urea or nitrogen at planting. But this is all organic nitrogen, and we're going to put this in the ground pretty quickly with some fertilizer. Now, our soil tests show that we're very low on P, very low on K, but our organic matter was 4.7 and our pH was 6.8. So that's going to be a really good food plot planting right here. The soil's in really good shape. Keep in mind, we've been doing this 12 or 13 years here. And our pond that you see in a lot of the videos, this is where all the digging came, the spoils, or the mine, when they mined the pond, dug the pond, this is where a lot of that was. So this was just all clay 12 to 13 years ago. So this has turned into some beautiful soil using this 3-strip system. So this red clover has, that was rye and red clover in the spring, fed the deer in the spring, fed the deer all summer. And now we're going to till it under for brassicas. Those cereal grains will come with the first rain rather quickly, and the deer will move right back into the food plot. So follow along, folks. We're about to show you how we do our 3-strip system. These are our Northwoods winter forage peas. These are going on the brassica side. We might do a couple of passes with them on the fall forage side as well, but we're going to put these right on this strip right here. Winter forage peas. All right, so we're done tilling in our fertilizer. You can see the big difference from where I'm standing, where the red clover was, versus right here where it was just some beans and oats. We're going to put our fall forage red clover radishes up here. Right here we're going to put winter peas in our Sweet Feast brassica blend. But I'm going to grab the camera here and show you what it looks like, what we're planting into. So let's see. I don't know if I can turn this around. So you look at this, all this nice, that's what we're planting our brassicas into. Lots of organic nitrogen. Great seed bed for brassicas. All right, so we've got our brassica seed down here. It was just about a pound. I can't remember, 7/8 of a pound or something. And then over here on this strip, we've got our red clover and radishes put down. We're going to run the lawn roller with a little bit of water in it one more time, and that's going to set the seed depth perfectly for those particular seeds. We got some clouds building towards the west. Fingers crossed for some rain. If we get rain in this, I bet we see brassica within 2 days. And that's how we do our 3-strip system. Now you can see over this shoulder here, that's our clover blend plus chicory. We put that in last year. It's doing outstanding. I don't need to touch that for many, many years. We might have to frost seed a little bit here and there. We got a little bit of a grassy spot up around on the back side of that point there where this tree is right about here. There's a point there, and then there's more clover on the back side. There's a little bit of grass there. We're going to use clethodim to take care of that. We got a small spot right here. We have to overseed a little bit with a little chicory, and we'll probably hit some white clover next spring. But anyway, I hope you all understand this. I know there's a lot of no-till people freaking out right now. Trust me, I understand it, but not everybody has the capabilities of doing no-till. And we've been doing this system for 12 to 13, 14 years. And one thing to keep in mind, the organic matter soil test, 4.7%. That's probably some of the best in Menominee County. You know, everything we've seen around here is less than 2, probably closer to 1.2, 1.3, but this is 4.7 organic matter, 6.8 on pH, but now up on that hill where it starts to go up, that's some property that we purchased when we put our shop up. We're just starting to food plot that. That's our second year, is going to be this year. So that probably is not as good as this soil here. So I really did not like to have to till that for the second time, but with the pigweed, we're just trying to get rid of it. I think we did a good job of it, but we're just trying to keep it away from us. But anyway, we're really expecting some good things with this food plot. We've already seen a dozen deer back here, a real nice 2-year-old already. As you can see over my shoulder, we've got some pop-up showers. Hopefully going to make it this way. We've been having pop-up showers down here every day up here in the UP, so we're hoping those show up tonight. And I would expect to see green by probably Wednesday. Tonight is Sunday. Today's Sunday. I expect to see some green Wednesday if we get some moisture. So thanks for watching, folks, and we'll see you in a few days.